Please bow your heads as we offer prayer. O eternal, loving, and merciful God, we pray to you this evening of commencement for your young people ending one phase of life and beginning a new life. We beseech thee to send your wisdom and grace upon them and all of us in our unsteady and confusing world. Show us that your ways give life more than the ways of the world, and that in following thy will is better than chasing after selfish and empty goals. Help our graduates to take always hope, and as failure comes at times, let it not be a measure of their worth, but a chance for a new start. Grant them always your strength to hold their faith in thee and to keep alive their joy in what is your creation, life. O God of power and mercies, amen.
Dr. Ruthfield, members of the school committee, Mr. Reynolds, Ms. Malahy, honored guests, faculty, family, and friends. On behalf of the class of 1989, I would like to welcome you to Ashland High School's 116th commencement exercises. As president of my class, it is my privilege on graduation to do three things: to sum up our years in the Ashland school system, to welcome all of you, and to talk about our class. The first two tasks are fairly easy, as I've already welcomed you, and I could talk about our class for days. But how can I sum up our years at Ashland High in one, hopefully short, speech? Paul Simon, a popular singer and songwriter, expressed my feelings perfectly in his song Bookends when he said, "A time it was, and what a time it was, a time of innocence and a time of confidence." For 13 years, we have spent 6 hours a day, 180 days a year together. And now, when we have just become the closest we ever have been, we are forced to leave each other and begin a new life. We are more than just high school buddies, and we are more than just friends. We are a family. We keep being told that we should look at this as a beginning and not as an end, and we will, but sometimes it is very hard not to think of the end. We will succeed. Our class has proven it can overcome hard times, as we have been forced to. But what you must understand is that very few people ever thought that the class of 1989 would be here. In our variety show, we sang a song by Dennis DeYoung, and in that song, it told our story exactly how it was from our side of the desk. This is our time. Nobody believed that we could get this far. We had a dream, and we made it happen. Nobody believed that we could last this long. We knew that we could make it. I thank the people who have seen our class for what we really are, and I thank the people who have helped make us what we are today. We have had so many influences in our lives, both individually and as a class. Our senior advisors, Leslie Doust and Julian Doctor, made the pressures of this year a little easier. And they became more than just our advisors, they became our friends. And in my own life, I could not have made it without my mother, who in my eyes is truly one of the most courageous and caring women in the world. And I thank her for being my mother and my best friend. I have just one more thing to say, and then we can move on into the ceremony. To all of you, thank you for coming today. To all of my classmates, I will not and cannot say goodbye, for we leave here today with two very cherished things, our diplomas and our friendship. Thank you.
Again, good evening, Dr. Ruthfield, members of the school committee, Mr. Reynolds, Mrs. Malahy, honored guests, faculty, family, and friends. Gathered here together today, we all see before us 94 students who are disembarking AHS in exchange for a free ticket aboard the ship of life. This is a vessel unfamiliar to most of us students. The course is uncertain and possibly hazardous, as independence, need, responsibility, and desire may sometimes rock the boat. Despite this, there is one thing that we, as students, can be sure of as we face the high seas. That is ourselves. From this day forward, although we may still depend upon our parents for certain little essentials of life, like money, each of us is now the captain of our own ship, and we must navigate our future course based on decisions that we feel are necessary and true. In fact, as we sit here now, most of us have already made the important decision of whether we will work, take some time off, or go to school in September. But how did we arrive at this decision? Better yet, why did we make the decision we did? Was it based on what we felt as being true and necessary for us? For those of us who are going to work, it was probably a decision based on either liking a particular job and wanting experience, or of needing money. For those of us taking time off, well, maybe we just needed a little break in order to collect ourselves after a rigorous 12 years of education. But especially for the majority of us who have decided to go to college in September, I now truly ask you why you are going. Is it because your parents would be heartbroken or disown you if you do not immediately continue your education? Is it because this is what all of your friends are doing, and you guess it seems like a good thing to do too? Is it because you need to get away from the home to make your own decisions, and dorms are a good excuse to leave? Or is it, quite frankly, that you will need to get a BA in order to make at least $30,000 a year to start? In other words, was your decision based upon your execution of societal approbations which dictate that the only important thing in life is being selfish and looking out for number one? Are you doing this because you are following the trend of an ambivalent and sometimes indifferent society which always wants more of bigger and better things, a society which resists facing more humane mores and values by negating truth and reality within itself and in the external world under the masks of such expressions as, "I just don't care," or "I have to look out for myself"? Please say that you will not follow the pseudo-dictates of our cherished MTV, "Too much is never enough." Or, better yet, it's not what you do, it's how you look. Moreover, if you do foresee following this false way of life, do not expect it to bring you true happiness. Do not expect material things, nor dependence upon others, to bring true joy into your heart, for they will fail you in time, just as they have recently failed the likes of Elvis or John Belushi, who, despite their abundant fame and fortune, felt an emptiness within them and took their own lives. Indeed, in a society of superficial images, we need to have our souls validated and not just our appetites satiated in order to live. Most importantly, you must not simply depend on the external world for sincere joy and satisfaction. It can only come from within you. Believe this and learn to validate your true ideas, because your soul is very valuable, despite the fact that society doesn't point this out, and on the contrary, greatly approves of always going with the flow. Faced with a new life, we must be truly honest with ourselves, for only we know what we're actually feeling and why. We must not avoid obstacles, opinions, and options. Rather, we must consider and digest them with an open mind and heart. This is why we must make our souls have a purpose: to be true to ourselves, to accept who we are, to like ourselves, and to be willing to change the things that we do not believe are right. Once we have achieved this inner awareness, we must also carry it further. Given our honesty and dependability within, we must go forth into a sometimes selfish society with a new sense of self, that is to say, with our soul. Moreover, to listen to ourselves is not to be selfish. In fact, you must be in tune with the best part of you, not only for you, but also to use in the service of others. For the world cannot go on being so selfish, neither politically, environmentally, nor personally. Not everyone is able to be in our fortunate position of being young, inquisitive, and knowledgeable. Society does need our new minds, and indeed we do have a responsibility to the world. However, if you do reach out after acknowledging your sense of self, you may find that you need to adapt, but never change, the truths yourself has established. In addition, people may not always reward you for having a sole purpose in life, but at least you will always know in your heart that your endeavors are honest. In closing, I hope you recognize that each and every diverse one of you has a unique and valuable self, and I hope that in all of life's pursuits, your sole purpose will be what is true to you. Thank you.
Hi. Valedictorian comes from two Latin words. The first, vale, means farewell. The second word, dico, means to speak. The valedictorian, therefore, is the person who says farewell. This, however, is no simple task. I cannot just say farewell because this is supposed to be a speech, and one word hardly qualifies as a speech. So I have to say farewell, but I must take my time in getting there. In making this speech, I tried to follow a few guidelines. One, I tried to make it short. There are 90-some-odd people behind me who just want to get their diplomas and get out of here. And the more I speak, the less popular I become. Two, I tried to make it interesting so they would be awake when they receive their diplomas. I also tried to follow a third rule. Use a famous quote in your speech. The one I chose is, "All the world is a stage, and we are merely players." I don't remember exactly who said it. I think it was Shakespeare. But I read it on a wall once, and I've heard it before, so I guess that makes it famous. Implied in this quote is the idea that life is predestined. Fate has written a script, and all we do is blindly perform it. I do not believe this, however. I like to think of life as one long improvisation. When we were born, we were thrown up on the stage and told to act, and so we act. Each one of us is a shaper of our own destiny. We use the performers and the props around us and build our own drama. The script, if such a script exists, has either been torn up or re-edited millions of times to take into account what we have done. What you're seeing tonight is the final act of one of the greatest dramas we have ever performed. The name of this drama is High School. Every year, it is performed all over the country countless number of times. However, each one is unique. Each one has its own set of performers with their own set of ideas on how the performance is to be run. Yet each is beautiful in its own way. This one is no different. All of you out there and up here have witnessed parts of this great drama. You have laughed, cried, felt the joys and fears, and experienced the victories and defeats with these players. All of this and much more make up this great drama. And tonight, the main performers are united together for one last time for the final act, graduation. Graduation is perhaps one of the saddest acts. This is because it's the last. After this, the play is over, the curtains close, the house lights go on, and the cast comes out for one last bow, and that's it. Afterwards, the performers go out and mingle with the audience, pictures are taken, autographs are handed out, and many tears are shed. There's good reason for this. Graduation is the last time all of these people will be performing together forever. True, the cast may reunite every once in a while, but it won't be the same. The time will be different, the stage will have been used and rearranged, and the exact feeling will never be captured again. However, take heart, for this drama will remain in your memory forever. For no custodian or stagehand, no matter how good, can ever clean up the stage you have set in your own mind. That stage is yours to keep forever, to run and rerun through any scenes you wish. After the theater is left altogether, there are the cast parties. These are to celebrate the performance and the successful completion of such a performance. Such celebrations may last for days, as you will be unwilling to put aside such great memories. Eventually, though, you must set these memories aside, for soon you will have to go on to an even bigger drama called the real world. In this drama, each of you will perform his or her own roles on an even bigger stage, in front of much bigger audiences. There will be many roles each of you will have to play. Some of these are college student, career worker, or parent. Some of you will play several roles, depending on the circumstances. All of you, however, will take advantage of what is on the stage around you to help create your own versions of the real world. Word of advice I would like to give to you: write your own parts, respecting everything else that you are sharing the stage with. All of you have been given the talent to improvise. Don't waste this talent and rely on someone else to write your script for you. And will you be successful? I believe you will. How will you know if you are successful? Well, if you're able to pack the auditorium and get a standing ovation, you know you are successful. If only a few spectators are present, however, you will have to count on your greatest critic, yourself. Either way, there is no greater feeling than that of success, whether the recognition comes from others or from within yourself. And I believe that all of you, at one time or another, will feel success. So, before the diplomas are handed out and the curtain is drawn on tonight's performance, I'd like to take this time to wish a fond farewell and best of luck to the class of 1989. And as they say in showbiz, break a leg. Thank you.
Good evening. Town officials, Dr. Ruthfield, faculty, parents, graduates, and friends. It is my sincerest pleasure to welcome you here this evening on behalf of the class of '89, this the 116th commencement of Ashland High. Graduates, this evening marks the end of an era and the onset of a new beginning. As you gather here tonight as the class of '89 for the final time, your common dream of graduation has now become a reality. The academic goals and achievements which you have set for yourselves personally and as a class have now been realized. The diplomas which you shall soon proudly receive signify your successful completion to an academic commitment to quality education, a commitment which you chose 13 years ago. You have accomplished what you set out to do. Each of you strived to be the best that you could be. The road at times was not always easy, but through a strong sense of commitment and perseverance, you have been successful. For this, we gathered here this evening to commend you. We applaud your efforts, and we are pleased to have helped you realize your goals. This exercise, while marking a conclusion for each of you, also marks a new beginning. Tonight, a new chapter shall begin. Each of you shall seek to be challenged in a new and different way. The road you choose will be very diverse. Your personal dreams, your personal aspirations, and your goals shall differ. The road that you choose and the course that you shall chart for yourself must be a personal one. Now you and only you can shape your destiny. Your aspirations shall be your future. They shall become your personal dreams. As Henry David Thoreau said, and I will quote, "If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music that he hears, however measured or far away." As Thoreau so aptly put it, your own individuality shall now develop, and each of you shall hear your own drummer, and only you can shape that destiny. Therefore, I strongly suggest that you carefully select your goals, and you aspire to be the best that you can possibly be. Dare to accomplish each and every dream that you possess. Reach for the ultimate, that impossible dream. Strive always for excellence. Remember ultimately that success is the fruit of your dreams and the product of your accomplishments and your aspirations. I strongly suggest to each of you that your ability to dream be intertwined with a sense of commitment. I implore you to never lose sight of that dream. Visualize your sense of commitment through your ability to dream. Aspire to be all that you can be. Dare to accomplish that dream, the dream that you possess and that you aspire. Reach for that ultimate goal. Accept only the best. It is your choice and your decision. As Oscar Wilde said, and I will quote, "I have the simplest of taste. I am always satisfied with the best." In conclusion, let me say that life is a series of commitments, which can only be realized by your ability to dream, and ultimately your success will be the fruit of those dreams. It is our deepest and sincerest pleasure to congratulate you, the class of 1989, on behalf of the Ashland School Committee. Thank you.
On behalf of the Ashland Lioness Club, I'd like to present the Eileen Wizioko Scholarship to Jason Coxell.
On behalf of the Ashland Police Association, I'd like to present 2 scholarships, one to Ms. Karen Locke, and the second to Ms. Aida Lipitsky.
On behalf of the Ashland Memorial Post 2331, I'm gladly and honored to present these awards awarded by the VFW. The first one is a friend of mine. I've met him in the Voice of Democracy program before, Sean Flaherty. This other fine student I've also met, Timothy Locke. I'm going to represent Mr. John Tomaz on this next scholarship award by Senior Tomaz Sr. to Adrian Hoffman.
On behalf of the Ladies Auxiliary to the Veterans of Foreign Wars, it gives me great pleasure to present our first scholarship award to Wayne Kasula.
Good evening. As Commander of the Sons of the American Legion, this is our first year with a scholarship, and I'd like to present 2 scholarships. The first to Heather Welsh. And the second to Scott Cameron. Golfing. Oh, that's good. It's good.
The American Legion, James O. Carey, post number 77 of Ashland, and its 265 members. proudly present our 2 annual scholarships. The first recipient, Deidre Wood. Our second scholarship goes to Sean Flaherty.
As co-advisors to the SAD group, Students Against Driving Drunk, we are delighted to award 2 scholarships. One to Dee Dee Wood, and to Fran Maxime.
Good evening. 4 years ago, SAD was the 3rd place winner of the Reader's Digest Don't Drink and Drive College Scholarship Challenge. Our school's program earned monies for deserving students who worked so hard to promote sober driving. It is my pleasure this year, for the final time, to award the remaining scholarship money to Sean Porter.
On behalf of the Ashland High School Boosters, I'm pleased to present 2 scholarships, one to Deidre J. Wood, and the second one to Wayne J. Kasula.
As president of the Ashland Fire Department Association, I am pleased to award this year 5 scholarships. The first one going to Karen Cleveland. The second scholarship going to Tanya Peoples. The third scholarship going to Diane Roby. The fourth one to Andrew Maloney. And the fifth one to the class president.
Good evening. Before I award these scholarships, the David B. Fedek Memorial Scholarship, I would like to give a little history of the scholarships. While at Ashland High School, David Fedek was active in sports, distinguishing himself in track, football, and basketball. He received the high school's Sportsmanship Award during his senior year. He was vice president of his graduation class and was active in student council in the high school Key Club. He belonged to the Boy Scouts and attained a Star Scout Award. In January of 1969, David Fedek, who had just graduated from Ashland High School, passed away. David was then a student at the University of Mass. In July of 1971, the Ashland Lions Club established a scholarship committee, with the first scholarship being awarded in June of 1972. In those days, there were only one, but over the years, we have been fortunate to have the support of local businesses and residents, so that now we can award 2 scholarships. At this time, it gives me great honor to present the first one to Tanya Peoples. the second one to Benjamin Douse.
On behalf of the Middlesex Savings Bank, I am pleased to announce a new scholarship program, which will go to a graduating senior who is planning on pursuing a degree in business. Unfortunately, our very first recipient isn't here tonight. James Marinelli is playing in a golf tournament on the Cape. But I still would like to congratulate him and wish him best of luck in pursuing his career in business with a good business degree. Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight, I am proud to present the Paul Falcone Memorial Scholarships, given in Paul's memory by his family. Paul Falcone was a fifth-grade teacher at the Mendez Middle School for 18 years. He was extremely dedicated to and interested in our youth, both in and out of school. His creativity and commitment are sorely missed. This year's two deserving students are Andrew Maloney and Travis Johnson. Thank you. The Ashland Educators Scholarships this year go to Scott Cameron, who's here. To get my kisses while I can. And Tanya Peoples. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to present the 6th Annual Telecron Scholarship, and I'm very pleased tonight to present it to James Marinelli.
It is particularly appropriate that we should come together to honor our students today, and that we should reaffirm our commitment to them. It is the objective of the Ashland Scholarship Foundation that every graduating student should aspire to further education without being deterred by financial considerations. We must always remember that we as individuals, as a town, and as a people are judged upon the quality of the support that we give to education and to our students. If we fail to give that support, then we are ridiculed in our area. As we have so graphically seen in the past few days, the Chinese leaders who brutalized and murdered their students are reviled and despised in all the world. Yet when we come forward, as today, to give our full measure of support for the town's educational system and for our students, then it is we ourselves who are honored in our area and in all the world. And therefore, it gives me great pleasure to award the following scholarships on behalf of the Ashland Scholarship Foundation. Mr. Adrian Hoffman. Mr. Andrew Maloney. Ms. Tanya Peoples. Ms. Tracy Bengiovanni. Mr. Scott Cameron. And Mr. Michael Abadamaco. Thank you.
Congratulations to each and every member of the class of 1989, Mr. Reynolds and myself, and I know all your parents, family, and friends are very, very proud of all of you. On behalf of the Ashland administrators, it's an honor for me to award this scholarship to a most deserving young woman who plans a career in early childhood education, Tanya Peoples.
As superintendent, there is nothing more enjoyable or more demonstrable than graduation. Graduation is the end of the first stage in the life cycle and the beginning of the second stage. It's a time for joy and concern, a time for pride and trepidation. But this evening, it is a time for a feeling of accomplishment. Accomplishment for not only the graduates, but for you, the parents, the teachers, the administration, the school committee. All have worked hard to make this evening a reality. Without your support and encouragement, tonight would not have been possible. You are to be praised and highly commended. Some time ago, I was fortunate enough to have had the opportunity to hear the famous coach Paul Bear Bryant speak. He stated, "You must learn to be mentally tough if you are to be successful at life or in coaching." That speech by Coach Bryant made an impression on me as well as the others in the audience, because we all knew that Coach Bryant had mastered the lesson about which he spoke. But this lesson is not just applicable to coaches. It is just as meaningful for all, whatever your occupation or profession might be. We must be mentally tough if we are to win the battles of the day. The great philosopher William James said, and I quote, "We must learn to be tough-minded. Tough-mindedness means having beliefs and convictions, self-confidence to pursue goals." The late General Douglas MacArthur expressed his philosophy on this subject in a letter which he sent to his son. It said, and I quote, "You will have to win if you have the will to win. You will if you don't lose your nerve. You must believe in yourself, my son, or no one else will believe in you. Be self-confident, self-reliant. Even if you don't make it, you will know that you have done your best. Now get to it." End of quote. One of the greatest battles we fight is the battle in our mind, the battle of positive and negative attitudes. Which one is going to control and direct our actions? Mental preparation is essential in confronting everyday battles and responding in a positive way. Developing positive attitudinal habits will assist us in growing as people. Possessing positive attitudes does not mean that we won't face adversities. It only means we will perform much better in response to them. Mental toughness requires belief, confidence, and conviction. Perhaps Coach Bryant said it best, and I quote, "If you believe in yourself and have dedication and pride and never quit, you will be a winner. The price of victory is high, but so are the rewards. Great people are only common people who have committed themselves with enthusiasm to outstanding goals. Those are the rewards that we speak of." A baseball coach once rebuked a rather overconfident player who said their team would win because they had the will to win. "Don't kid yourself," said the coach. "The will to win is important, but it isn't worth a nickel unless you also have the will to prepare." Great people are only common people who have committed themselves with enthusiasm to outstanding goals. You must have the will to commit yourself to succeed. The world is full of very intelligent and competent people who honestly intend to do things tomorrow or as soon as they get around to it. Their accomplishments seldom match those of the less talented who are blessed with self-confidence, perseverance, and a sense of acting now. You, the graduates, are common people who have committed yourselves with enthusiasm and a positive attitude to achieve your goals this evening. But this is the first step in a long, challenging career. Use it wisely, use it to the fullest, challenge the future to its utmost. There is nothing so discouraging or sad as to hear someone say, "How I wish I had done this, how I wish I had done that with my life. I wish, I wish, I wish." May you leave here today with your hearts full of wishes that say, "Look out, here I come." May you have an insatiable drive to have the courage to act, to be mentally tough, possess a positive attitude, and with God's help, you will have the good fortune to succeed. Thank you. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the Henry E. Warren Scholarship Awards to the two highest-ranking seniors. The salutatorian and the valedictorian are selected on the basis of their academic achievement, and it is not based on the degree of difficulty of the course, but rather the cumulative grade which is received during their years at Ashland High School. This honor is open to anyone at Ashland High School who is willing to strive to their utmost. Each recipient will receive a $5,000 scholarship. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the second highest-ranking member of the class of 1989, the salutatorian, Frances Marguerite Maxime. Frances, the daughter of Dr. Janet Magnani, and is planning to attend Harvard University in Cambridge and will major in liberal arts. Frances' activities include student council, National Honor Society, peer education leader, SAD program, piano, tennis, field hockey, United States academic decathlon participant, and a state finalist, Voice of Democracy contest winner, Girls State delegate, Miss Teen Ashland, and Acadia Institute of Oceanography, and she still had time to do her schoolwork well. Ladies and gentlemen, salutatorian, Frances Maxime. The highest-ranking member of the class of 1989, the valedictorian, is Wayne Shelburne. Wayne is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Douglas Shelburne. He is planning to attend Worcester Polytechnical Institute in Worcester and will major in civil engineering. His activities include National Honor Society, school newspaper, school drama club, academic decathlon, law day, YMCA youth and government program, Citizens Bee, Worcester Polytechnical math meet, Frontiers in Science and Space math program, tennis, basketball, spring track, and cross country. Wayne is also a National Merit Scholarship finalist. Ladies and gentlemen, the valedictorian of the class of 1989, Wayne Shelburne.
Well, sitting back here, I couldn't help thinking of what a unique evening we have here at Ashland High School. Unique, the fact that we're here in the large gym holding our graduation exercises. Normally, as you know, that doesn't happen. In fact, during my many years here in this community, it has only happened twice that I can remember, and actually one other time that we were forced indoors during the middle of the ceremony. So that part of it is a bit unique. Also, you may have noticed to your right, we have three gentlemen who are members of the graduating class, who, contrary to maybe public opinion, were out playing a round of golf. Actually, they were doing a lot more than that. They were down defending their personal title and the state, competing for state titles with 22 other young gentlemen at Bass River. So it was questionable as to whether they would be back in time to receive their diplomas and their awards, and I thank goodness, and I think they do too. I think they've caught their breath just about now, that they made it in time. And I think also that this is an additionally unique evening, unique because we have before you a most unique class. It has been our pleasure to have them here in this building at Ashland High School since grade 8. It is with much pride and personal pleasure that I present them to you this evening. And now for the presentation of diplomas. Wayne Marshall Shelburne, valedictorian. Frances Marguerite Maxime, salutatorian. Sean Patrick Porter, president. Jill Suzanne Milbrand, vice president. Bonnie Lee Booth, secretary. Stephen Anthony Hickey, treasurer.